Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly, and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. I wanted to share with you guys a really important update inside of the market cycle of crypto. This is going to be analyzing the entire history of all of the price action that we have inside the markets. I'm going to be breaking down exactly why I believe this cycle looks almost identical to the one that we saw in 2017, right before we had that massive bull run back 4 years ago. This is an amazing opportunity that I think a lot of people are underestimating. A lot of people are in disbelief, especially over the recent sell-off in the crypto markets. But I'm here to share with you guys a couple really important charts that I know is going to shape your guys' perspectives on exactly how to be the most profitable long-term from here. If you're new and just find this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Always remember to click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these amazing videos like the one provided for you here. And make sure you guys sign up and join the Discord server or download my free ebook. Links are going to be provided for you in the description for both. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And with that being said, let's jump right into this amazing video today. Alrighty guys, so here we are to start off today's video. I want to dive straight into the total market cap of the altcoins so that I can share with you guys just how similar this cycle really is to the one that we saw in 2017. Now, I honestly think that there is a case to be said where we're not only following the 4-year cycles, but we're also in somewhat of a lengthening cycle as well. And I believe that they're both kind of showing the similar correlation. I'm going to get down and explain why that is and what that means. But I honestly think that we're at this really interesting point inside of the crypto markets where we're finally starting and have been seeing some mainstream adoption. Basically, ever since 2018, we finally had a way for institutions to either buy or short Bitcoin. And from that point, we've only ever seen more adoption. More countries are starting to buy Bitcoin, adding it into their Bitcoin reserves or just treasury reserves as a whole. And this is a pattern that I only see continuing to grow from here. Now, there's a lot of fear inside the market, especially with all the talk about the recession. And I think with all of this talk and really the big correlation between Bitcoin following the S&P 500 and the stock market, I think a lot of people have kind of written off Bitcoin as being something that could be some big, change inside of our future. I think a lot of people were expecting that, including myself, that we'd see this massive blow off top, and then that's really where crypto would become mainstream. But we never really saw that. We didn't see the same blow off top that we were accustomed to. And really, with all of this kind of combined, it's caught a lot of people off guard. And I think most people that weren't really in here for the long term, they really were just kind of in here for some short-term profit. I think these people are obviously going to be gone. They're not going to be around here anymore. But these people are also going to be missing out on amazing opportunity. And so let's get into what this opportunity is. And let's just cover, the basics of this. So down here, I've got this black line chart. And this black line chart is the same as up here. This is just the current day total market cap of the altcoins. Now, what we're going to come down here and be comparing it to today is really just this period of consolidation back down over here. So we're going to bring this up a little bit. And we're going to just simply draw and analyze some basic factors that, in my opinion, are going to be some of the most important that we have to go off of when it comes to understanding what this cycle is ultimately going to do. Now, I think that with this 2013 cycle, we have followed very similarly. But the difference here was, everybody, including myself, was expecting this type of a move to the upside, right? Whereas the move we saw to the upside was pretty big, but, this blow off top really wasn't anything to be, excited about. We barely even made a new all-time high, and then we pretty much just got stuffed. So it wasn't anything that we were accustomed to seeing. We were all expecting to see another 2017 type of bull run where altcoins just go insane. Everything's just going up in tandem. You could buy anything and make 100% returns. And that was kind of what we were accustomed to seeing inside of the last cycle. This cycle has been different for a few different reasons. Now let's come over here and actually talk about more of the similarities in market structure, and I'll explain why I believe that there are differences and really why I think we didn't see the blow off top yet. Now, first things first, this is going to be the run up, and then we get our cycle top, right? Run up, cycle top. Now, this is where we go through our period of consolidation. We get our first lower high right here, and then we kind of go for our final capitulation. This is our final sell-off. Now, what I find is interesting here is during this period, right here, during the initial sell-off, we go through this kind of period of consolidation where we're kind of making this triangle before ultimately continuing on to the downside. And that was the move that we saw right here. We saw the exact same thing kind of play out in 2013 right before our capitulation, right? This is our final sell-off that took place before the end of our bear market. The exact same thing pretty much took place in 2013. We went through almost this exact same sort of market structure. And then after we finally find our capitulation low, we make a dead cat bounce, a lower high, back up to the upside. And this is our first relief bounce inside of our new, well, after the bull, after I should say after the bear market. Now, the same thing happened most recently in our cycle here. We went through this triangle consolidation, final spill, and then this was our relief bounce back up. Now, obviously, it wasn't quite as volatile as the one in 2013. You know, there was less money in the market back then, so it makes sense why it was a little bit more volatile. But nonetheless, it went through the same kind of turn of events. You know, after we get rejected at this lower high, we kind of fall back down. Both of these charts did that. We fell back down to support, retest support, kind of make another bounce, reject again, and then this is really just us kind of accumulating sideways. It's not very different from the entire consolidation that we went through most recently in our bear market, right? It's very similar to the same sort of consolidation in here. And I think it's really important that we understand this because it shows that the same money that accumulates each oh my fucking god. Because it shows that the same money that's accumulating each cycle, because what it shows is it's the same money that's accumulating each cycle. It's the same market makers, and they're creating the same market structure each time. Now, here's where things get a little bit different. So this was the end of our bear market. This was the end of our bear market. And then we go for our first new run into the bull, right? This is where, you know, in 2013, this was when Ethereum first got added to exchanges. And this run that we see right here in this correction, this is actually the Ethereum run all the way to $23. We topped right here. And then that's where we made our big run into new all-time highs. Now, what I find is super interesting is that move for Ethereum at the very beginning of that bull run in 2017, 2016 timeframes. It looks identical to what we've basically been in for the last year, right? Remember when Ethereum topped at $23, bottomed at $6, and then we ran all the way up to $1,450? And that was the top right there. That was our 2018 altcoin cycle. I honestly think that we're in a very similar point today. It's just a little bit different because we're in a bigger period of consolidation. So keep in mind, guys, we're going to move this over here, that this entire move from $6 to $1,450 for Ethereum is basically the same as where we're at today. So where we're at today is $6 Ethereum, right? Right there in that move. And what I find is super interesting about this is when we come over here, we draw a line at the all-time highs. This move in that 2016 time frame for the altcoins, when Ethereum broke its all-time high and made its first run to $23 and then corrected back down to $6, that correction back down to $6 was actually the breakout of the previous all-time highs of that last cycle. And then that's immediately where we saw the big move into price discovery, where ETH went upwards of, $1,450. And where I believe that we're at today is the exact same moment of time. Now, obviously Ethereum's not worth $6, it's worth $2,000, but this same sell-off where Ethereum has made this massive move all the way back down to like $1,000 that it sold off to, I can't remember the exact price, but we made this big capitulation all the way back down to $1,000. I believe that that is the exact same thing as, that move that we saw back in the last cycle. We can see that when we broke those all-time highs, we made this kind of period of consolidation where we didn't really make a big move past the all-time highs. It was a short-term move past, but then it was us just pretty much consolidating above that range. I believe that we're in the exact same moment of time today. It's not that different. It's all the same market structure, and we can see that right here. And so I personally think that we could be in store for, maybe a hybrid cycle where it's actually the combination of both. Where, keep in mind, we're following the exact same market structure. This looks the same. I mean, to me, when I look at this chart, it just looks the same. I can't really get it out of my head that these are the same charts. This is the all-time high. We go through this period of consolidation before the capitulation. It literally looks the exact same as our consolidation throughout here. get the same lower high, we go through some more sideways consolidation throughout here, and then when we finally decide to go into our new bull run, this was the move that we made. We made the big move, made a new all-time high, corrected, made an attempt at a new all-time high, really didn't make one, and then we corrected back down to retest those previous highs of the last cycle. This is the exact same thing that we're in today, and that's why I believe that what we're ultimately gearing up for is going to be the biggest adoption cycle that we've seen. Because as of now, we've seen adoption for sure. We've seen PayPal adopt cryptos. We've seen other different Cash App, Venmo, things like that. We've seen these other different payment opportunities where they're taking opportunity in crypto. They're taking exposure into crypto. They're allowing people to get involved with crypto. But it's not anything that we would see with global mainstream adoption. In true mainstream adoption, we would look to see a massive retail wave. And that was the thing that we did miss out this cycle. We never really saw the true retail wave, right? We kind of got the retail wave right here when ETH went to $4,500. But it wasn't anything like the 2017 run where all of a sudden everybody that was getting in crypto had no idea what they were doing. It was just a bunch of people that had never really invested before that were just throwing money at random things. We got a little taste of that during our initial move, the beginning of 2021. But we never really saw what we saw in 2017. And so that's why I believe that this is a little bit of a hybrid cycle. Maybe we didn't see that same blow off top during this period, but it's just because we're at a different point, right? We're at this period of time in the cycle, right? We're not at this period where it was all the way up here at the top in 2018 before we had this massive crash. We didn't have that same type of a move to the upside that we did in 2017. So it would make sense that we wouldn't have the same size of a sell-off on the downside either. And that's why I think that, honestly, it makes sense that we would hold support roughly where we're at this previous all-time high. And that's why I think that the next cycle that could be in store for us is going to be more of something like this. A much bigger, much more parabolic, much more euphoric, much more retail adopted cycle. And I think that that's literally where we're at today. And that's kind of the point of this video, was to share with you guys some thoughts and perspectives, really explaining why I believe that the best thing that we can do for now is continue to stick to the long term. Continue to stick to the long term because I still believe that we're at a very undervalued point in crypto's market structure. I believe that crypto is ultimately here to solve a bunch of the issues that are in our current world, with all of the talks around the recession, with all of the fear and uncertainty, with wars and rumors of wars and whatnot, and specifically the correlation with the crypto to the S&P 500. I think a lot of people have completely written off the opportunity that crypto could be here to change anything. I think that they're looking at crypto as just being another risk asset, another thing that's just going to follow stock markets, another thing that's, just here to make us some short-term money, but it's not going to actually impact the future. And I'm still somebody that firmly believes in the long-term impact of crypto. I believe that this stuff is going to completely change everything. And so people that are actually getting involved right now, we're still really undervalued in the grand scheme of things. And when I look at charts like this, it kind of shows us that, hey, maybe our cycle was not quite as big as we would have thought, but what if that's only because our big cycle is only this little small part of the big macro trend, right? That's the big point I want you guys to remember here. Everything with markets is about perspective, and we're always going to go through differences in each cycle. And I think that one thing to understand is, maybe we didn't have such a large blow off top this cycle because we're still just part of a smaller, we're just in the first leg of a macro bigger cycle, right? And these are all things that we need to consider. Imagine if we really are just right here in this period of consolidation, retesting the previous all-time highs of a prior cycle before Ethereum, Bitcoin, Solana, all of them, Dogecoin, they all just go up insane. And, we might be sitting at looking at Bitcoin at worth $1 million and Ethereum worth, $100,000 or something crazy. And we'll look back at this moment and think, oh man, remember how scared we were that we never saw a true blow off top. Remember how scared we were that crypto was so correlated to the stock market. Remember all those things. Well, correlations happen until they stop happening. And that's exactly the way it works. One day Bitcoin's not going to be correlated to the rest of the markets. One day Bitcoin's going to be its own thing. And I believe that we're getting very close to that. And this chart ultimately shows that that's where we're at. We're at this part before the next cycle is going to be something like this. And so I want to give you guys this update as a way to summarize some thoughts, give you guys some perspective on what I see playing out in the market. If you guys found value in this, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these amazing videos. If you guys want to join the Discord server, download my free ebook. Links are in the description for that. For the people that actually like to follow all the trades that I take, all my expert picks, insider information, and things of that nature, links are going to be provided for you in the description. Go ahead and sign up on my website for my VIP group. Lots of exciting information in there that's going to help you guys out tremendously, especially if you're in here for the long term like I am. I'm in here for crypto. I'm all in on crypto. I'm focusing in on crypto. That's just what I like to do, because I see more value and opportunity in this market than I do elsewhere. And so when I see charts like this, it makes me excited. I want to share them with you guys so that you guys can also, take it what you will, whether you think you agree with what I said or whether you disagree. Please comment why. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts, but I'm personally really bullish on crypto. I think we're undervalued. I believe we're going to have a massive cycle, and we're literally just at the early stages of exactly that. Thank you guys so much for the support, and with that being said, I'll catch you in the next one. As always, peace out.